In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a couple of South African Rand trades, some Aussie dollar pairs, USDCAD and CADJPY, and we're also going to be looking at some of the best trades from our Discord trading room last week. Enjoy. Welcome back to our weekly market review, guys. Sorry for the absence the last 2 weeks, but we're back up and running now. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet as always, and I'm going to start off with a couple of setups by members of our community, starting with a potential trade on the USDZAR submitted by Andile. And Andile is looking for a bit of a long before shorting the USDZAR. And what we can note here is after this big impulsive move, or all this pain for the Rand, we had this big, which looks like a distribution, and then we had the move down. Since then, we've had the impulsive move, and what Andile is looking for, and I'm looking for, is a corrective pattern, and then hopefully we'll find a bit of a long back to where this support actually broke. So a bit of a good looking trade there. Similar looking setup on the pound ZAR, if I can just move to that slide. And again, we had this big impulsive move, and potentially we could have a little bit of a move higher before coming down. I wouldn't be taking both of these trades, as they're probably both ZAR related. So just pick your best one if you decide to take this trade. Right, guys, and I have quite a few setups on my watch list next week. I'm not going to be able to discuss all of them. I'll post the rest in our trading room. But I'm definitely looking at some Aussie dollar pairs, and all the Aussie dollar pairs reached some significant levels after the big bullish run. And as you know, in the long term, I am expecting even much higher prices on the Aussie dollar. But for now, I believe we might be ready for a bit of a correction. On the Aussie dollar JPY weekly chart, you'll see we ran some big levels of liquidity here, and we had a bit of a distribution here, and then the price moved down. Now I do think that it should come down a little bit lower. If it doesn't go down immediately and we do have perhaps some corrective price action, then perhaps over here this is where I'll start looking for some signs to short this market, at least to the very next level of resistance, if not even lower. But again, even if I look at the Aussie dollar US dollar, again, a similar type of setup here. We ran this level of liquidity, we had the big spike down, and now if we have a little bit of a correction, then potentially we can find a short, or I'll be looking for a short to go lower. And again, this will be the sort of the first level of resistance. I think we should get that quite easily, but potentially we could make even a deeper correction before going higher. So definitely looking for downside on the Aussie dollar pairs next week. Now we've also had a bit of a bounce on the dollar pairs pretty much across the board, and one of the dollar pairs I like the most next week is probably USDCAD. And we finally closed this gap. We had a bit of a stop run over here. The market shot up around the stops one more time, and then we had the big impulsive move. And if I can just zoom in a little bit more, I've got my alerts set here on this liquidity level, and then next week if we do find a corrective price action and we get over here, I'll start hunting for longs, and my target would be this first level of resistance. I'm not really sure if the dollar is going to get much stronger than that. Personally, I do believe that there's only downside on the dollar. But it does look like we'll have a relief rally. Although it could go higher, this will be my target for the USD CAD. Like I said, there's a few other dollar pairs you can also look at, but I'm only going to be focusing on the best ones, and this is the one I've put on my watch list for next week. And then finally, one I've also marked off is a bit of a flip zone setup here on the CADJPY. As you guys can see, we ran this level of liquidity. We had the clean distribution, and then we broke back down. So hopefully if we get back to this level, we'll find a reaction here. And normally you'll find at least a bit of enough of a reaction to get to break even, but potentially we can go even lower on this one. So I've marked my alerts on there, and if we do get to this area, I'll definitely be looking to get short this market. And if I do, I'll share my entry on the trading room. Alright, that's it from the setups, guys. Next up, we're going to be looking at the best trades from our trading room last week. And enjoy. I'll see you all in the trading room. Cheers.